Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to an episode of the Daily Red podcast, ladies and gents. It's Thursday, the 3rd of October. It's less than 24 hours after Liverpool beat Bologna 2-0 in the Champions League qualifying. You can call it a group stage. I think we still call it that, don't we? Despite the fact it's about 36 million teams and not a group of four. And we're trying to get in the top eight, which sounds absolutely mental, but it is what we're aiming for. But most importantly, we're 2 from 2. So no doubt you probably have thought this, but today's Daily Red, ladies and gents, coming to you from just outside of Liverpool, actually, where the weather is quite good because I was down for the game last night. So I'll be bringing you all the latest headlines, what people said, like Arne Slot, Mo Salah, Dominic Szoboszlai, what the articles are that are doing the rounds today, and general things to keep an eye on. And I'll do it a bit of a roundabout way because normally it's nice just to follow the structure, isn't it? And leave bits to the end. But I might just jump around everywhere today because it's quite joyous. I was down last night, and the first thing I actually want to say is I was actually in the Annie Road lower last night. There was a gentleman who had a medical emergency. So Stuart, I was only a few seats down from him. Stewards called over, medics called over, St John's Ambulance to do a cracking job. So if by any chance it's highly unlikely he does hear this, I hope the fella's well today. Fingers crossed for that. But where are we going with this? We'll start with a few articles and bits that I'm reading today. So shout out to David Lynch on his Substack. Now, this is a free piece as well, so it's worth a read. It's an interesting one. It revolves around last night, specifically the season so far for Darwin Nunez. So he says that Nunez, it was about, he completed 4 out of 12 passes last night on something that was a bit of a frustrating night for him. Is this manager or anyone capable of getting him to fire at Anfield? It's an interesting one, isn't it? Nunez, 3 years in. I mean, there were some bits that were nice last night. It's a shame about the offside because he took the non-goal, you would say. Well, even for the goal, I know it's all about Salah's cross, but it's fed into him. He controls it well, lays it out. So it started well, but almost from that miss, you could see it in the stadium. Confidence almost just drained, evaporated from it. And, 4 out of 12 passes. Didn't look the happiest when substituted, did he? In all honesty, but that is where we are with Darwin Nunez right now. So well worth a read from David Lynch, that one free on his Substack. So that can start you off. Let's also talk a few positives about sort of maybe longer term, short term awards if you want. Another Mo Salah award, ladies and gents, as the club's account tweeted today. The first Liverpool player to score in 5 consecutive UEFA Champions League home games. And we'll wax lyrical about the Egyptian king and the walking demigod that is Mo Salah very shortly. But also other short-term awards. Ryan Gravenberch, he was brilliant last night. And the sponsors agree, Carlsberg's player of the game. And also, one of the nominees for Players of the Month in September in the Premier League. So Luis Diaz and Ryan Gravenberch are nominees for Players of the Month in September. And Arne Slot is a Manager of the Month nominee at the same time as well. Speaking about the manager, he had a lot to say about this game afterwards. He really did. And there's some comments and quotes, if you want to call it that, from the website, but also you may have seen these on TNT potentially as well. So a few I wanted to bring out. He's a harsh taskmaster. He demands the highest, and we can easily get on board with that, can't we? Easily. So let's just pick out a few quotes because he's asked about there being room for improvement. Said, the thing is, you will probably never reach perfection. You are always aiming for perfection, but you will never reach this. We can improve. We have to improve. That's clear. But there's also a lot of positives to take from tonight and from the other games. There was a spell in the game where we didn't control and they were threatening us more than I would like to see. But again, that's normal. I saw a lot of games yesterday. I saw some games before we played in the Champions League. And it's never that only one team plays. There are always 2 teams playing. I think for most parts of the game we controlled. We had more ball possession, but they threatened us, especially in the last phase of the first half a few times. I think that's spot on. That the goals were great, and we'll come to those, and a lot of the things we saw are great, but we did lack a bit of control, and a lot of it tended to be of our own making, especially late in that first half, having, gone ahead in the first 10. People then expected, you can sense it in the stadium like a tidal wave, and there was just a bit of frustration growing, maybe a bit harshly, I don't know, with why we're losing control and the decisions we were making. Sometimes Alisson and Trent's decision making, got robbed on the ball, didn't he, Trent, as well? It wasn't the best, let's put it that way. So you could see why the manager focuses in on that. I was asked about Salah's record-setting goal. Said, what can I say about Mo? What you saw today is what you get. If you bring him on often enough positions like this, he can score a goal. He had a great assist as well. I think the second goal, if you look at the way he scored it, I can understand everybody's talking about the finish because it was a fantastic finish. I'm not going to say too much more about that because, in all honesty, I thought he was absolutely great for large parts and striking at others. Mo Salah, as I said, the Egyptian king, a walking demigod on that football pitch, is unbelievable. I mean, a goal and an assist, that takes him to 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 goal contributions in 9 games so far. Still the main man, still the player we look to. And that curler into the top corner last night, that almost felt like the ghosts of 17-18 were back, weren't we, that we used to see. Felt like the Champions League was back, and more importantly, Mo Salah was back. And we love seeing that type of thing. At the same time, there were times in the game where he gets played a difficult pass. There was 2, because I'm in the Annie Road lower. And you can see Virgil, the crossfield, and he takes it amazingly. Just that first touch to kill it with the outside of the left foot. Brilliant. And then just passes it straight to a Bologna player on a couple of occasions. And now no one's perfect, but it is insane how spellbindingly good Mo Salah is on most occasions and when he turns him on. So any standards that we judge him by are just different from everyone else. They really are. But again, what a player. What a player. And we might as well keep with quotes. So afterwards, after the game, there was a few players interview. So Maka tended to be the main one that drawing the quotes from this morning. So just taking a few. On scoring his first Champions League goal, he said amazing, really happy personally, but at the same time for the team, he, as in Alisson, made some good saves. Sometimes I think we need to defend better, but at least Ali could show how good he is. So I'm very happy for him and the team. And he was also asked about Salah's assist for the opening. He said, to be fair, it's quite hard to miss, but you never know. But a goal is a goal. Very happy because in this team, we know when we make a run, Mo can see everything. I'm really happy for him as well because he scored a goal. I think it was a good night for everyone. Love what Maka says there. It was a good night for everyone. There's zero doubt about that. But listen to the way he talks. It's still like they're still aware it wasn't perfect. They're still aware that things could be a bit better. We need to tighten up. And I don't know if last night, it'll be interesting to see what the Up Boys make of this, because I know that'll be coming up in the next day or so. Very much that Bologna style of, you could see it as well from where I was at Annie Road, they were going tight man for man a lot of the time. Almost a little bit the echoes of Atalanta. I'm not just saying that was an Italian team. It's more the style and pressing aggressively man for man. It did sometimes make the limited options you could see for Alisson and others when playing out from the back. And listen, the woodwork got rattled, the post got rattled. They had joy pinching it. They nicked it from Trent one time as well, didn't they? So yeah, maybe that style, I'm not saying that's a blueprint that's far too strong, but maybe it's just the style of those managers, those teams. But it's interesting to see if it happens again, how we deal with that man-for-man press. It really will be. And the final quotes we'll pick from this is, we'll leave you with the main man himself, Arne Slot. This one said, not many things I'm delighted with, apart from both goals, especially the second one. It's a great ball from Virgil, a great attack, a great run from Trent, and overall, it's a good result, but I wouldn't use the word delighted myself today. That shows you just how I love the fact that Arne Slot is a taskmaster. I love the fact too, even when we're winning all these games, that he will call out these things and say, that wasn't good enough. That needs to be improved. And even you think of the selection last night, there's no message, isn't it? Strongest, bang. A lot of us thought that might be a bit strange and risky, Canate and others, and everything was good. But I'm going to be surprised. I was surprised last night. I can't pretend. I might be a bit surprised if it's the same for Crystal Palace, but maybe we should just stop being surprised with these selections and what we're seeing. And maybe we should actually a little bit be happier. I think it's interesting. Dan Kennett put this on his threads that and using his words, not attack, the nerds seem happier than the general people about the results, the performances. I mean, if someone had said to you at the start of the season, we're going to win 8 from the first 9, you're going to win both your Champions League openers, Gravenberch is going to be like prime Vieira, and I know people will jump on that, I do not give a shit. Diaz will score these goals. Mo Salah will be back firing after what happened at the end of last season. Like Canate would play all these games, never mind 3 in a week, all these games, and we keep so many clean sheets. What would you have honestly said? Now, I know people are now going to caveat this with, we've not really played anyone. And I'm not disagreeing. There are tougher tests to come, as we look even ahead to October and the other games, more international breaks, but that's a different thing. But A, you can only beat what's in front of you. And B, you've got to look at what's underlying. We do give up a few chances, I admit, but we're keeping clean sheets on a regular basis. The fitness, the availability of the squad is off the chart, isn't it, realistically, at the moment? There's no two ways about that. One journalist even said to me today, maybe, I don't know what it is, maybe it's people just miss Jurgen. Maybe there is a little bit of that. Maybe it feels like, should I love this new stepdad that's coming? Because my dad used my... I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But I just think there's a lot to like at the moment. It could change quickly. That's the nature of football. But let's not be sort of too downbeat when there's positives to be had. There really is. And speaking of positives now, Mo Salah, another record, because I love just breaking up these records this way as well, is now an African record holder, the African top goal scorer in the Champions League. He's on 45, with Didier Drogba on 44. So that took him highest. And as Ben Boxak, I'll be doing Stat Me Up, tweeted with later, I mean, Salah had the least touches, 37, on the pitch today. Yeah, he's got a goal and assist. And averages a goal and assist every 67 minutes. An Egyptian king, a walking demigod on that pitch. Unreal. It's erotic, the tales you can tell with his stats. It really is. We'll do a few stats as well for you. Ibu made a couple of great blocks, didn't he, again? 94% pass completion, 3 out of 3 duels won, 3 out of 3 aerial duels won as well. 2 clearances, and even those blocks late on, sensational. Ryan Gravenberch, we are running out of things to say. At which point do people start to accept this is, and it doesn't mean it'll go on forever for people jump on this as well, but this is 9 games in now, and Ryan Gravenberch's been brilliant. 9 games in, that's a heck of a sample size, by the way. I mean, even last night, 9 recoveries, most passes into the final third with 7, 100% of his tackles won, 3 out of 4 dribbles and 2 chances. I mean, even in the first minute, where he just does that open the body, drop of the shoulder, and he's on it, he was showing his intent, Ryan Gravenberch, from the very first seconds of this game. A few driving runs, I would say quite a number, a regular occasion. They dovetailed so well, that 3 last night. And you think, Gravenberch was man of the match, McAllister gets a goal, and for me, I've watched, I focused on him quite a bit as well, because he's come in for a few digs, Dominic Szoboszlai. I thought that was his best performance of the season. Worked so hard, won so many duels, even just strength at times, putting his foot in. Not a perfect performance, but I thought he was such an important cog. And the amount of recovery runs I was losing track of, remember that as well. He is such an important cog. I mean, you look at the stats from this one, ladies and gents. 5 out of 7 ground duels won, 2 chances created, 2 out of 3 dribbles completed, and 1 assist. Averaging a goal or assist, 0.52 per 90 minutes. I know it's a per 90 minutes, so people will mock those types of stats, but I think it is important to bring that in context. I mean, on the opening day, I think it's Finn Burns for Ipswich. I could be wrong on that. Just nicks it. But the ball's going to Salah's pass. We should have had another assist. But he's currently sat on 3 goal contributions in 8 games. So if that, as it probably should have done, had been an assist, he'd have 4 goal contributions in 8 games. A goal contribution every other game. Yeah, I don't quite. There's so much to like about Szoboszlai's underlying numbers. I mean, even one glance at the FB ref normal thing, 90th percentile for so many metrics. That, ladies and gents, is a midfielder to like. One midfielder not to like, ladies and gentlemen, is Martin Zubimendi. Because the absolute clown got obsessed with mountains in San Sebastian. Has he never fucking seen Crosby Beach? Has he never taken a stroll by the estuary? Has he never seen Runcorn Bridge? Has he never had a £7.50 hot wok, half rice, half chips with either Chinese chicken curry, either crispy chili chicken, either salt and pepper chicken, even just a sweet and sour one, and a can of Fanta or cherry Coke for £7.50? That's culture, Martin. That's culture. But he's been speaking, hasn't he? Because people are asking me, are you regretting it? Because Real are pants, aren't they? Real Sociedad. So what has he said that I've seen come out today? He said, my philosophy is to do at all times what comes from within. So so far I've done so well like this. It's true there was a lot of noise. Well, of course there was a lot of noise. We bloody made an offer for you. I went to uncomfortable moments. Good. The best thing for me was to stay here, and I'm happy and at peace. Liar. There is a lot of noise because of the press, but deep down, everything is easier than all of that. And when he was asked about, regret, said, of course I don't regret it. Liar. I can't think that for 4 or 5 games at the start of the season. I made my decision from within. I believed it was the best. The results do not affect me. Liar. I see potential in this team. You just have to watch us train, and I'm excited to have a good season. Do I agree with a lot of those comments? No. Do I believe all of those comments? No. Do I get why he's saying those comments? Yes. Question for you is, do you believe Zubimendi's done, I suppose? That's an interesting one, isn't it? But a few more quotes from midfield we do want to hear about. And I want to hear what Szoboszlai said, because he earned that. So a couple of things that have come out this morning, ladies and gents. It's asked about, how did you feel about the style you're up against? And it was man-to-man all over the pitch. But we were preparing for this and we were also ready. But as you said, it's not normal. So we had to get into the game and think about some different stuff around what we could do. Interestingly, even the players clocked it, just almost adjusting to it in the game. And also he was asked about about this midfield balance between you, Maka, and Gravenberch. Said, yeah, I love to play with them. I've said it before, a lot of quality with what these two, but the whole team as well. The midfield is not enough. Of course, it's an important role, but we need everybody. We need the bench as well. We need the whole squad, because there's going to be times when it's going to be hard, and I think there are still 60 games to come. Everyone's buying into this message, despite what we can identify, ladies and gents, that they're quite clearly, let's be honest, is now a first 11 developing, and Slot is getting on the field as much as he can, whether we like it or not, whether we have to adjust our expectations to it or not, that's fine. But you see the players talking about this, that even there's a Szoboszlai mentioned in the squad. And even the other day, Ryan Gravenberch was, talking about Jones, Endo, and other people. The manager's done that as well. Everyone recognises it's still a squad game. And even when I think it's about 73 minutes, a few come on, like Gakpo, Tsimikas, people will still have their roles. The biggest test might be for Arne Slot. Can he keep all of these people happy? That might be the bigger test to come. We will have to see. Podwise, as well as Daily Red, which, you're listening to, which is great. Eddie's done one with Neil Atkinson from the Wrap this morning around Transformer, a must read. I think that's fair to say on everything Jurgen Klopp related. I know you'll probably have your copy already or have it on order. So well worth it. I listened to that one. David Lynch did his post-match reactions. So that's well worth a listen. The boys did Raw. I know it was Dave, Trev, and Harry Setti joined them. as well. Don't know why I used Harry's full name, but shout out to Harry there. So well worth a listen. There are pods galore out the wazoo. I'd like to finish with this. In biblical times, that often there would be epic fights, and the winners were chosen by sort of heretics and, you know, the general sort of royalty of the day. Now, there's bloody wars, bloody religious wars, but there's one thing that brought the world back together in ancient times. And this is what Jesus said. Up the fucking 8 out of 9 win Reds. That's what he said. And war was over. So on Thursday, the 3rd of October, ladies and gents, the sun is shining here. The sun was shining on Anfield right now. The Reds are top of the tree. The Reds are 100% in the Champions League. Enjoy your day.